Okay, I'll tell y'all. The Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. Um, we walk. Well, let me get my good hand. My good hand. My good hand. Because I can walk a little bit slower with this hand. I can walk a little bit slower with this hand. A little bit more. Because that one is a little bit broke or whatever. So, yeah, we walk by faith and not by sight. Do y'all actually know what that means? We're supposed to speak it. Well, things that we don't know, we speak it into existence. We're speaking it into existence. We walk because we know where it's at. It all starts out here. Well, it starts right here. Then it goes right here. Have that desire and that knowing. And once it's in here and you believe it, it's things that come with that believing it because it's in agreement. When you believe in something, you've agreed to it. It's a contract. It's a contract. Okay? Follow me, y'all. It's a contract. As you go out and you go and you do it, because you've already made this agreement. So you're saying no matter what, you believe in the agreement, not at what you see. Because what we see sometimes is always not what we believe or not what we want to see. What you believe is in here. It's in here. So it goes from that chamber to this chamber. It's a good thing when it goes to the high caliber training, when it goes a little bit up. Think about a gun. Think about a gun, how when you pull the trigger and it has a clip, especially if it's a clip, it'll go from the bottom and it'll push it up and spring it up to the top to get it into position. And once it's at the top or the eye of the gun, it's gonna go straight through to that little nose, to the nose part. Some people call that the eye, but they call it the nose. and then it can push on through. That's just like you having an idea and God telling you have an idea and a belief system that you're supposed to have, especially being a believer. I'm gonna say that, especially being a believer, y'all. My lace friend is constantly lifting, y'all. Can anybody, even if I have gold hold, a bond hold, that strong stuff, it still come up. And they say, it doesn't work because of, it'll work when you go swim. I don't know what kind of swimming they doing because I do some very intensive, try to, stay underwater kind of thing, and it don't work. But I don't think it's meant for that. But anyhow, remember that you walk by faith and not by sight. We don't look at what we see outside. We're the producers. We are the creators. We create the reality. Okay? People are so busy trying to give us this reality to accept and these things to accept, but I put my faith and I put my trust in God, meaning that no matter what it looks like, no matter how things look dim, no matter what obstacles I may come, I'm going to be able to overcome them and conquer it because I am more than a conqueror in Jesus Christ. I had this one lady kept saying, "You're an overcomer. She's an overcomer. She's an overcomer." And I'm like, no. I'm a conqueror, and more than that, I'm more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ, and he lives through me. So if that's my belief, and I have this already in my heart, and it's triggering in my mind because it's in my heart, it's building up. It's going into my mind. Guess what? I have no other choice but to succeed. I have no other choice but to win because losing is not in my DNA. It's just not. Losing is not in my DNA. Fear is not in my DNA anymore, because you're walking by faith. Fear, insecurities, all those things are gone. Defeat don't live at this address, okay? But a warrior does. A warrior always lived at this address. And when you see some people really think that, walking by faith and not by sight means, you got to speak everything. That don't mean that. Sometimes you have to be quiet. God showed me that some of the best battles that I had to fight with them in silence. I didn't have a whole prayer group sitting there. "Oh, I bind it in the name of Jesus. I'm bind it." And no, it was the things that I had in my head. The things that I had in my head and the things I had to pierce through and to strip down some of those strongholds that I had to have, for myself. That was, some of them were placed on me, but some of them that were realities that I accepted that were not my own. That were not my own. Never been, never have been, And when I really analyzed them and I looked and I said, why is this here? I was able to see like this was placed here, or I accepted it because of I accepted what I was given, and then I found out, that's not me, and some of it was it's no longer me. Some of it was it never was me. The proof is in the pudding because I'm getting back up every time. I'm fighting every time. Every time you push me down, I get right back up. Every time you're saying that I'm not worthy enough, I get back up, and I'm shown that I am worthy by getting back up. And other people show me that I'm worthy, and not that I'm more than worthy. I'm not lovable. People, I go, and not only people show me that I'm lovable, I show myself how to be lovable. I showed, I learned what it meant to be loved by myself, so yeah, walk by faith and not by sight, y'all. Some things are gonna shift. They started talking about, one of the things they were talking about, the girl who, the young lady who was talking about how she saw the coronavirus and how she predicted it and how God, had it on her head. And I'm sitting here like, okay, y'all really pumped about that? Y'all really excited about a prophecy? Because a lot of people have the gift of prophecy. So I don't understand that, but what do you really know? If you that impressed about that, then 2021 is really gonna blow your mind. If you just shocked about that little thing right there, 2020 is going to blow your mind. 2020 is going to blow your mind because God is bringing prophecies and bringing remembrance to people who they thought that they kicked down. Some people thought that they kicked you down and knocked you down for the count. And it's been 1 year, 6 months, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60 years. And they thinking that they got over. Because ain't nobody seen them, ain't nobody put in their place. But you know what? 2021 is going to be the time. 2021 is going to be the time to shut those people up. And it's going to be how they going to get it. How these people are going to get it. Because I'm telling y'all just how God told me. He said he was going to repay, not just me, but a whole bunch of people who went through some stuff, especially for his name. And he was going to repay them, good and bad. Good and bad. And you're going to start seeing these people. And I mean, man, big people, you're going to start seeing them. They thinking that they got over. Because that other person done got silenced. They done hushed them up with money. They done hushed them up with accolades. They done hushed them up with the little plaques and things. But God sees all of that. And when God clears house, he clears house. He clears house. But you think that you're surprised now from that one lady prophesizing about the coronavirus. When you start seeing that prophecies of the real deal, the real food shortages, the real manipulations, the real facades about people making organizations to do crazy and wicked and evil things behind it, then that's when you really your eyes are gonna be open. Because there's a lot of people who have been sending their kids off to these doggone places acting like that ain't taking the time for them, but they want to send them off to somebody else, trying to get them to do what they're supposed to do, or they looking for help. And these places are manipulating them and they're tricking them. You took your kid, you took your loved ones to go and get help, and the place that you thought was giving them help was out there trying to manipulate them even more. But God is going to open the door and he's going to crush it. He's not going to just blow it out to where you just see what it is. He's going to make those people fall. He's going to make them fall, because he is just in his word. He is really just in his word. So don't worry about it. Walk by faith and not by sight. Some of the battles that I had to face, I'm telling you, it was my mindset and what I truly believe. Because if you truly believe in what God told you, anybody can do some stuff, and guess what? God is gonna repay, because he says he repays. That's why people didn't even understand. Like I had no reason to be vengeful to anybody or to get back at anybody or any of that, because guess what? God repays. God is the great avenger. He says he avenges my enemy. He goes after them, not me. That's not my job. My job is to do what I'm supposed to do, because truth be told, if I'm doing and I'm in the right spot, most of them instances wouldn't even happen. Some of them would, because God allows certain things, but most of them wouldn't. So Your job is to do what you're supposed to. Get in position. Walk by faith and not by sight. And that's another thing. If you're not in position, who do you trust, God or man? Who do you trust, God or man? So get into position. God just brought that to me. Okay, I'm gonna quit that job. And I'm not telling anybody to quit their job or nothing like that. I'm saying for myself, these are the things that God has been dealing with me. Now, if God told you to do something, what I'm saying, if God told you to do something and you have confirmation, do it and stand on it. Doesn't mean it's going to be all pretty. It's going to look all pretty. It's not. I'm here to tell you, because when I went through my instances and I followed God, it looked crazy and it looked like I got ostracized. But guess what? I got the training, I got the steps to know what I needed to know. And then when it was time for me, I was able to get up on the ladder and catapult to the dimension, into the place that He wanted me to be. So yeah, once again, walk by faith and not by sight. Thank you.